Before we get started, today's ceremony is being broadcast by KCBK Radio and will be live streamed on KCBK's Facebook page. It will also be available on the Brookfield Archery School District website. We ask that you please have your cell phones on silent or turned off during the ceremony. Please do not use any artificial noise makers, and please hold your applause until all the graduates have presented their diplomas. Tonight, because of the situation and the reserve, we will allow one family member from each section when your special graduate rises, when their row rises to come to the stage. One person from your family can come to the blue turf in front to take a picture. We ask that when that is finished, when you finish taking the picture, if you just slide out of the way so the next person up, take that picture.
Let it go, let it roll right off your shoulder, don't you know? Okay, I'm taking this one down. So this is that one. That's the camera on the pod, and then that's the one after that.
Probably one. I'll switch them down.
One final announcement before we get started. I hope that everyone noticed there are porta coolers. If you feel like you're getting overheated, please water and Gatorade available over there as well. please remain standing, and gentlemen, remove your caps as Miss Olivia Montgomery, a member of the class of 2020, honors our nation with the singing of the national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Or say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
You may be seated.
Well, good afternoon and happy Mother's Day. Oh, wait. That's the wrong speech for the wrong year, isn't it? This isn't a typical year. This is definitely a unique year, or should I say almost unique, in American history. But before I digress too much, I do want to welcome everyone on behalf of the Brookfield R3 District Board of Education to this 4th of July weekend celebration of the class of 2020. You know, that number 2020 has been easy for me to remember as my son Ian's graduating class. At the time he entered school at BDD some 14 years ago, the number struck me. 2020. The number that's used to describe perfect or near perfect vision. So why did nobody see this year coming? I think it's safe to say these graduating seniors, that their year didn't turn out the way they expected when they started the year. The usual senior activities somewhat ended with a fizzle. What does the near-term future hold for them with college classes kind of up in the air and job prospects, well, shall we say, not so great? Let's face it, this COVID thing kind of sucks. It's affected everyone to some degree, whether as simple inconvenience or to the other extreme, having taken the health or, God forbid, the life of someone near and dear to you. I think it's safe to say that this virus has changed all of our lives. But for how long and what will its legacy be? What does the future hold? Isn't that the question everybody's nervously gathered at times like this? I got a little story to tell that might give a glimpse of a possible future. It's a story of two young men coming of age during a pandemic. No, it's not the story of my son Ryan, who's 16 in a few days, and his brother Ian, who's graduating here tonight. Rather, it's the story of my grandfathers, Walter and Ernest. The year is 1918. Walter is a private in the Army. He learned artillery at Camp Funston in Kansas, near what today is Fort Riley. He was approaching 24 years of age when he shipped out to France. Besides his mess tin, a wash kit, and some spare clothes and other items in his old kit bag, he carried something else. Something he had received at Camp Funston or on the troop ship. He carried the influenza. He was deathly ill for some time, but he survived, having spent a couple of months recovering in a hospital in south central France. The odd thing about circumstances being what they are, I might not be standing here today had he not gotten the flu. Well, we might have died in combat, but the American troops weren't really that active yet in the early years of early months of their deployment in Europe. After all, Pershing had this idea that he wanted to accumulate a significant number of troops before he fully engaged the enemy. No, it wasn't that my grandpa McIntyre might have died from battle that would have changed my prospects of being born. It's that he might not have developed a lasting relationship with my grandmother had he not been in a stable location with time to write on his hands. You see, my grandparents didn't know each other that well before he left for France. Their courtship was via the mail. At the beginning of the war, his letters started, "My dear Miss Heisel." They were very proper, very formal. By the end of the war, his letters began, "My darling Opal," and some were very intimate, to the embarrassment of my dad, who read those letters after he passed away. My other grandfather, Ernest, EA or Ernie to his friends, was a little too young to ship out during World War I. He was on the home front, a front where he watched several of his friends and even a relative or two succumb to the flu. He had lost his sister Pearl not long before to pneumonia at age 14. Disease had touched nearly every family he knew back then, and I remember the stories he told me when I was growing up about those times. He said, "Jimmy," that's what he called me, Jimmy, "you know what came after the death and sadness of the flu in 1918 and 19? The roaring 20s. People's outlook changed once it passed. They knew they weren't guaranteed tomorrow, so they better live. Really live each day." My grandpa Littrell never let a day go by that he didn't tell a friend about how much he appreciated them, or pass an opportunity to tell a loved one about how much they meant to him. I never visited him without being told I was loved. Really, really loved. And this is, I don't know if I could read this, but this is more for the graduates. So what lessons do these stories contain that I want you to remember? Well, we didn't have the pomp because of the circumstances to some degree. I know this phrase has been used some, but there are important lessons to learn at times like this. Don't put off the important things in life. Let people know that you love them while you can. As teenagers, you have a pretty good odds of surviving this. But don't pass the opportunity to brighten someone else's day, even if it has to be at a distance, at least for now. Also remember that the very good things in life often follow the more stressful times of life. Don't give up hope. Tomorrow holds more potential than you'll ever understand. Give your time and talent and treasure to those things that matter, and don't wait too long to start. You'll find the less important things fill up your calendar very easily. What comes next for the class of 2020? What vision do I have for your all's future? To be honest, I really don't know. But what I do know is the future is what you make of it. It's yours to take hold of. Put your whole self into it. Don't hold back. Get that additional education to help you with your career. Really go after that new job. Be the best soldier, aviator, sailor you can be. Be the best nurse. Be the best doctor. Be the best anything to help out in these times that come. Whatever you do, put yourself full bore into it. Don't settle for mediocrity. These are somewhat unique times. At least I hope so. They call for the unbridled determination to make tomorrow better than today. Go into the future with confidence. You've been given a solid foundation with the education you received here to build upon the rest of your life. Your parents, your teachers, your neighbors, and your friends have all helped make you who you are. Be able to tell your grandchildren someday about how the pandemic of 2020 may have messed up your senior year, but it didn't mess up your lives. Be able to tell them something worth remembering. You made us all proud. We can't wait to see where you go. Take care and God bless.
Bodie Yeager, please come to the stage and be recognized. Today, Bodie Yeager is being recognized for a special achievement. It is an entire career Bodie missed just one day and one half day of school. And he only missed that because I had to convince him to go to a church trip. Outside of that, Bodie never missed a single minute of instruction.
Bodie Yeager, congratulations on this tremendous achievement.
At this time, I am honored to award the top 10% academic achievement pins to the class of 2020. These pins are being presented by Dr. Kyle Collins, Superintendent of Fairfield R3 School District. Please hold your applause until all the names have been read. Dayton Eklund. Grace Hasty. Emily Kunkel. Ian McIntyre. Gabe Mura. Shawnee Paris. And Sonny Timms. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me congratulate the Fairfield R3 class of 2020 top 10%. Ian McIntyre, please step forward. The class of 2020 has one ACT Bright Flight Scholarship recipient. Bright Flight status is an award achieved by less than 3% of all Missouri high school seniors taking the ACT. Ian McIntyre scored a 32. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me congratulate Ian McIntyre on his Bright Flight Scholarship. It's my honor to introduce to you tonight our salutatorian from the class of 2020. Ian McIntyre is the son of Jim and Martha McIntyre. He was born in Columbia, Missouri. He has a sister, Katie, who's 4 years older, and a brother, Ryan, who's 2 years younger. From a very young age, Ian had an interest in technology and computers. He was loading games on his family computer by the time he was 3 years old. As a result, he quickly became the family tech guy and video game expert. Ian has had a love for learning and reading since he was very young, and he's been involved in many activities during his years in Fairfield R3. He was a member of the Varsity Scholar Bowl team all 4 years in high school, serving as the varsity team captain his junior and senior years, and making the Clarence County Conference all-conference team his sophomore, junior, and senior years, and was the MACA All-District Scholar Bowl team member his sophomore and junior years. Ian was also involved in band, Science Olympiad, FBLA, and National Honor Society. He attended Joseph Baldwin Academy, Missouri Scholars Academy, and Missouri Boys State. This fall, Ian will attend Truman State University in Kirksville, where he will major in computer science. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome the class of 2020 salutatorian, Ian McIntyre.
Class of 2020. After an admittedly prolonged period of waiting, our time has finally come to graduate. Thank you to everyone here today who could be here today. Thank you to all of the teachers who helped us grow to become who we are today. And thank you to the parents and family members who supported us throughout our entire school careers. Finally, thank you to my fellow students who have grown up alongside me. I can remember, as well as I'm sure most of you can, thinking about this day through most of my school career. Throughout our careers, a lot of us look to the future, to the day we would all grow up and be able to do what we wanted. Even starting back in elementary school, we would look in awe at things like hot air balloons and fire trucks and hope to be able to ride in one someday. We dreamed of being astronauts, doctors, and football stars, and whatever we believed we wanted to do. From bell game assemblies to college and job fairs, we were always looking to a good future that we believed would be waiting for us. We participated in all of the Career Center classes and groups like FBLA and Skills USA to not only grow and learn, but to make friends, build communities, and just have fun along the way. We took all the courses we could and learned all the skills we did in order to get to a bright future. But now that we finally reached the day that we might be able to go out into the world and do what we wanted, the future that we foresaw didn't exactly happen. However, this does not mean that we should just give up. As I was trying to figure out what to write my speech over, I found a quote from James R. Sherman. You cannot go back and make a new start, but you can start right now and make a brand new ending. It is true that throughout our lives we have seen many different crises. Some of us were born around the time of 9/11 even. Since then, we have definitely seen a rise in violent action and global tensions. We're even graduating right now in the middle of a pandemic. However, these unfortunate events should not and cannot be allowed to deter us from making a better future for ourselves. The past has already happened, but the future is ours to make. We must continue to do what we can to make sure that we can continue on to a happy and peaceful lives. Class of 2020, may we find a way to not only survive, but thrive as we go on to the world.
It's my honor today to introduce to you Superintendent of Schools at Brookfield R3, Dr. Kyle Collins.
I thought I got away with one there for a minute. They skipped over me in the program, so this has been a difficult speech for me to write, and it's been even a more difficult speech for me to deliver as I practiced it over the last several days. First of all, do we have any students leaving soon for military service? your decision to protect those unable to protect themselves throughout the world and to protect our freedoms is admirable and an unselfish decision. Wherever in the world you will be safe. You will always be in our prayers, and may God bless each of you. Thank you. Today I'm going to talk to you about hope and optimism. That is something we can all use a little bit of right now. I usually begin these addresses by quoting someone famous, and then I try to apply it to something you can use in your daily life and maybe remember beyond just today's ceremony. Today I'm going to start off with someone famous to me, but someone I'm sure none of you have ever heard of. His name was Marvin Ashton Collins, and he was my grandfather. Grandpa was born in 1901. He passed away in 1989. As I was thinking about inspirational figures and historical quotes I could use to express to you that hope and optimism spring eternal, and they are things that we can never let go of, and things that we must cling to during difficult times, and we must never lose them. I thought of my grandpa. Grandpa was a farmer. He also taught school in a one-room schoolhouse for a brief period of time. He was a man of few words, dry wit, and a wry sense of humor. At a young age, I would ride on the wheel fender of the old Alice Chalmers D10 tractor with which we used to mow and rake hay. Grandpa would say we needed to make hay while the sun was shining. We would go long hours sometimes without saying a word, as the hum of the engine and the rattle of that old New Holland hay bind drowned out all other sound. We kept a jug of ice water on the tractor and really only ever stopped to unclog the hay bind, which I have to admit happened a little bit more than it should have because Grandpa could get a little impatient, and sometimes we'd start before the field was quite dry enough to mow. We also occasionally stopped to replace the teeth on the sickle blade when one would break off. I think Grandpa secretly relished the sickle teeth breaking because that would require him to pull the tractor under a shaded area and get out his anvil and hammer. Then all 5'3" and 125 pounds of him would wrestle that sickle out of the mower, and he would find the missing tooth, and then, using the anvil and hammer, drive the rivets in on a new replacement tooth. I think he either enjoyed taking out his frustrations on those rivets, or he fancied himself some sort of blacksmith for a bit, but I can tell he really lived for those moments. Those hours riding on the tractor, and in later years, I would be the one driving the tractor while Grandpa supervised from underneath the shade tree, formed some of my earliest and fondest memories. What does this all have to do with hope and optimism? I remember one year in particular, there was a pretty severe drought in our region. I think it must have been about 1980. I would have been 12 years old. We hadn't had any rain in many days and possibly weeks. The ponds were drying up and the hay was very sparse, barely worth mowing. I remember a neighbor on one particularly hot, dry, and dusty day asking my grandpa, "Marvin, do you reckon it will ever rain again?" My grandpa simply replied 3 words that I'll never forget. It always has. It always has. You see, Grandpa during his lifetime had seen 2 world wars, the first manned airplane flight, the 1918 flu pandemic, the stock market crash of 1929, the Great Depression, the New Deal, the Cuban Missile Crisis, the Cold War, the Korean War, the Vietnam War, the advent of space travel, and United States astronauts landing on the moon. He has seen a lot of ups and downs in farming and every other aspect of life. In 1980, he was 79 years old and he was still actively farming. He knew there would be bad times and there would be good times, and that as a nation we had always recovered from the bad times and emerged even stronger than before. In short, he understood that at the end of every drought, there was always rain. There always had been, and there always will be. Our country is going through difficult times again right now, but at the end of every drought, there is rain. This too shall pass. Things will get better, and the graduates of 2020 will play an important role in things getting better. This is your time to make the world a better place. Keep your hope, keep your optimism, follow your dreams, and make the world a better place. Thank you, good luck, and God bless the class of 2020.
During the presentation of diplomas, Brookfield High School invites the family and friends of the graduate to stand in recognition of your special graduate's name when it's announced. When the row that your student is in rises to come to the stage, one representative from your family may come to one of the spots on the blue turf. Please align as your students align at the stage. The class of 2020 also asks that you honor and respect all graduates and their families by holding your applause and celebrations until all seniors have received their diplomas. At that time, I will ask everyone to congratulate the entire class of 2020. Thank you.
Mr. Thudium, have all seniors present today met or exceeded all requirements for graduation as set forth by the Missouri State Department of Elementary and Secondary Education and the Brookfield R3 Board of Education?
They have.
You may present the diplomas to the class of 2020.
Ian George Cyberling McIntyre, Truman State University. Lee Bailey, employment. Leah Madison Bradbury, Northwest Missouri State University.
It's okay.
Dylan Matthew Brundage, employment. Jackson Eric Ryan, employment. Lexi Island Kane, University of Missouri, Columbia. Jordan Elizabeth Chavarria, employment. Cooper Dale Cisna, undecided. Bree Alice Ann Clausen, employment. Cassie Nicole Connard, University of Missouri, Moberly Area Community College. Tacey Dawn Cooper, further her education and pursue her dream job. Bobby Dylan Crawford, undecided. Jacob Irvin Day, Hannibal LaGrange University. Paige Elizabeth Delana, employment. Frank E. Dreyer, employment. Dayton Michael Eklund, Missouri University of Science and Technology. Nicholas Edward Eppy, Northwest Missouri State University. Catherine Suzanne Ewing, Moberly Area Community College. Kane Daniel Faulkner, North Central Missouri College. Stephen Olin Gillespie, North Central Missouri College. Wade Jacob Graves, Grand River Technical School. Kayla Precious Marie Gunn, Employment. Grace Elizabeth Hasty, North Central Missouri College. Nicole Renee Harrington, United States Marine Corps. Preston Ryan Holmes, Northwest Missouri State University. Sarah Lindsay Holtz, University of Central Missouri. Hunter Michael James, Lynn State Technical College. Nicholas Wesley Jones, North Central Missouri College. Emily Eula Nicole Kerr, Moberly Area Community College. Marcus Alexander Kirkpatrick, Truman State University. Emily Marie Kunkel, Northwest Missouri State University. Elijah Joseph Martinez, North Central Missouri College. Olivia Dawn Montgomery, Missouri State University, Springfield. Daniel Jarrett Morris, North Central Missouri College. Emily Ray Morris, Employment. Gabriel Christian Mura, National Guard, Northwest Missouri State University. Shawnee Ann Marie Harris, Truman State University. Samantha Elaine Pope, United States Air Force. Shelby Jean Richmond, North Central Missouri College. Dylan Lee Zachary, North Central Missouri College. Rylan K. Zachary Bernard, Northwest Missouri State University. Lakin Don Satman, University of Missouri, Moberly Area Community College. Avery Bennett Schreiner, Northwest Missouri State University. Bailey Tyler Side, Employment. Claire Marie Sensenik, North Central Missouri College. Riley Elizabeth Sensenik, North Central Missouri College. Janice Lee Shue, Southern New Hampshire University. Faith Bernice Smith, Grand River Technical School. Kaylee Marie Sportsman, North Central Missouri College. Kaylee Ray Stufflebean, North Central Missouri College. Victoria Caroline Summers, Fontbonne University. Mason Lee Swift Tarpany, Grand River Welding Institute. Madison Lee Taylor, Missouri Western University. Lane Mason Thudium, Grand River Welding Institute. Sonny Diana Timms, Northwest Missouri State University. Kimberly Nicole Tran Turner, Northwest Missouri State University. Aspen Michelle Tucker, Employment. Alan Richard Wallace, Employment. Carly Rosemarie Wattenbarger, Lynn State Technical College. Jeremy Allen Williams, Missouri Western State University. Bodie Lake Yeager, Northwest Missouri Missouri State University. Would the class of 2020 please stand? Dr. Collins, Mr. McIntyre, Brookfield R3 Board of Education, family, friends, and members of the Brookfield community, I proudly present to you the 2020 graduates of Brookfield High School. It's my pleasure to introduce to you today the class of 2020 Valedictorian, Gabe Mura. Gabe is the son of Christian and Tanya Mura. Gabe had a love for learning from a very young age. He has a keen interest in technology, but in general just loves making things. He built his own computer, a Van de Graaff generator, and a Tesla coil. Gabe's a hard worker and a very disciplined young man. He's currently in the National Guard going for his MOS as a fire control specialist. While in high school, Gabe participated in FBLA, Leo Club, National Honor Society. He was selected for the DAR Good Citizenship Award and the KMZU Academic Dream Team. In the fall, Gabe will attend Northwest Missouri State University in Maryville. Gabe is currently in training with the National Guard and is unable to be here today. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me congratulate a special young man, Mr. Gabe Mura.
We made it. Granted, we might have taken about 5 detours, but we finally made it. Unfortunately, I'm not able to be there with you all today, but I have the opportunity to record this speech. So I'll start out with how I got here. Beginning freshman year, I set a goal for myself. I told myself I was going to give high school everything I had to give. I set my mind to achieve what I didn't believe was possible, yet here I stand before you today. And I would not be standing here if I would not have set myself a goal 4 years ago. You need to have goals in your life. Some people call them dreams, but dreams are in your head. A goal is something that will be reality one day if you stick with it. A goal is simply a dream that can be accomplished. A year ago, I set a goal to design an application in which a user could track their gym routines. This was perfect for me because I had a previous goal to start going to the gym consistently. I was excited and wanted to release the app before I had even started programming. The first day of starting my goal was easy. The programming environment had a steep learning curve, but I was able to find my way around it well enough to get to the text editor in which one would write code. The next thing to do was to learn how programming actually works. I began to learn all about booleans, if statements, for loops, and more. Once I had a basic concept of these, I headed back over to the text editor and I stared at it for a while. It was at this moment, at about 2 weeks in, that I realized how difficult this was actually going to be. It would have been easy to quit right then and there, but I knew that what my end goal was. I continued to work through learning the code. I stayed up late trying to figure out why the app wouldn't open, and after 1 year, plus 10,000 lines of code later, I'm still working towards my goal. The importance of this story is not that I have yet to accomplish my goal, but that I have not given up, and that I will not lose sight of what I want to accomplish. Working towards your goal is not easy. You start out with a dream that you want to be reality. Then you start to break down your goal. What do I need to do to accomplish my goal? This often involves breaking down your goal into small steps. Once you get these small steps, you have to break them down even further. For me to get where I'm standing right now, this meant breaking down my goal into the individual classes I would be taking. That was just the first breakdown though, as each individual class had a syllabus, or that piece of paper used to make paper airplanes at the start of a new course. The reason this breakdown matters is the same reason accomplishing a goal is not easy, because too many people lose sight of their end goal. You start by taking the first step towards your goal. This is the first day at the gym, the first day in class, or the first early morning. The firsts are usually pretty easy. You have your mind set on the end goal, and you're fired up about getting that goal accomplished. Then the first day is finished, and the next week is usually like the first day. You're determined to reach your goal, and nothing can stop you that first week, or even that first month. Around the second month, you're beginning to realize that this goal of yours might take a little longer than expected, and you begin to lose some of that fire. Life begins to get in the way. You slowly fade away from your goal. You start making excuses for yourself as to why you'll never be able to accomplish your goal, or why you might not be as successful as whomever you look up to. Oh, that guy's a natural. I'll never get there, so I might as well not even try. Well, no one is truly a natural. Raw talent can only get you so far. The people with the most success do not get where they are by accident. They were in the same boat that you are. When life began to get in their way, they made time to work towards their goal. When the negative thoughts began creeping in, telling them that they would never make it, they didn't listen and began to push even harder. They stayed the extra hour, they woke up before the sunrise, and they gave every moment their all. The difference between you and them is that they never gave up, and you don't have to either. You can be part of a small fraction of people who never give up. It will not be easy, but in the end, you will have a valuable skill that no one else has, because no one else has given as much time to their goal as you will. And that is the beauty of the whole situation, is that you don't have to be faster, stronger, smarter, or better than the other guy. You just have to want it more. You have to be willing to stay late, wake up early, and work harder than anyone else. In the end, it's not about the size of the dog in the fight, it's about the size of the fight in the dog. But Gabriel, what if I don't reach my goal? And I would answer that with, what if you never tried? Because I can tell you the worst possible outcome is that you will be better today than when you started pursuing your goal. You will have learned a skill that will help you reach your next goal. You will get a fire in you that you would never have had if you hadn't felt that feeling of disappointment. And that is an important point, because when you do not achieve your goal, that means it's time to make another one. But this time you have experience. You now have a step on everyone else who is just starting, and you can shoot even higher than you did before. A missed goal is not a failure, but a reason to keep trying. Now, speaking to the Brookfield class of 2020, I'm going to miss every one of you. I know God has great plans in store for all of you. Remember to never give up on your dreams, your goals, and most importantly, never give up on yourself. We're all going to do great things in your own way. And if there's one thing this virus has taught us, it's that the class of 2020 will not be brought down by anything this world can throw at us. Thank you.
Dr. Collins called me today and he said, with the COVID-19, the most serious chance of spreading COVID is through singing, which left me with a solo that I didn't feel comfortable with the 16 county coverage area of KMZU, or KZBK, I'm sorry. So I've asked my father, Bill Thudium, to take the stage with me to help me out. Please stand and be a part of our time-honored tradition. Just please don't sing out loud.
I don't think they just want to play it like
And we will not
2020, please remain standing and remove your caps. Family and friends, it's my great pleasure that I present to you today the Brookfield High School class of 2020. Let them fly.